My name is Andrew. I am one of the sailors here at the Jamestown settlement, and right now we're down here at our recreation ships that we have. We're standing on the Discovery here, and today we're going to talk about man overboard procedures. So today we're going to talk about a very important procedure that not only the sailors back in the 17th century needed to know, but sailors today and even us here at the museum needed to know, and that is man overboard procedures. Seeing as we are working on ships and here on the James River, it's very important for us to know how to act in the case of someone entering the water or falling into the water, and how to safely get to them and get them back onto the ship or onto our pier. So when a person falls into the water, if you see that person fall in the water, you are to be the one to shout out, "Man overboard," really, really loud so everyone can hear. You're also going to keep eye contact and your fingers pointed towards them so everyone can see. In distress! You're also going to check the state of that person, see if they're conscious, see if they can swim, and then you're going to have someone radio our security control or our duty officer to let them know that we have a person in the water. Now, if that person is conscious, you're going to throw them a life ring, and they will grab a hold, and we can direct them towards the closest ladder. That would either be a pilot ladder on the Godspeed, or one of the ladders we have here on our pier. If the person is unconscious, we will designate a rescue swimmer who will enter the water and assist that person and get them to a place where we can get them out of the water. And by that time, medical personnel should be on the way or have arrived, and we will let them step in and do their jobs. Our life rings on board the Discovery are located right over here by our entrance. So we would grab the life rings here. We will tie the end of the line here up so it doesn't fall from us. And when we throw it like a discus. We're going to throw it past them while also keeping an eye on our winds and the currents to make sure that it floats towards them so they can grab on, and then we can start pulling them back to the ship to maneuver them to bring them back onto the ship. So today our man overboard procedures are standardized by the United States Coast Guard. So the United States Coast Guard traces its origins back to the Revenue Cutter Service, which was founded in 1790 by Alexander Hamilton, who was serving as the Treasurer of the United States during that time. In 1915, the Revenue Cutter Service and the United States Life-Saving Service, which was formed in the mid-1800s, merged together to create the United States Coast Guard, which is the leader in safety in a maritime environment, coming up with procedures such as man overboard drills, as well as doing safety inspections aboard vessels and making sure crew on board are following all procedures as they are written.
My name is Keith. I'm one of the sailors down here on the ships in Jamestown, and we've learned a little bit about what we do for man overboard procedures here now, but I want to talk a little bit about what we would do 400 years ago on board these ships. There are a lot of variables involved in being rescued if you fall overboard 400 years ago. Were you injured or careless or possibly drunk when you fell over the side of the ship? Was it a calm day or was it a rough storm? You know, a lot of different things go into play. So if it was a nice day like today where the sun was shining and there was a light wind, the ship was moving through the water at maybe 4 knots or 5 knots, maybe like 6 miles an hour, and you just fell into the water, you had a very good chance of getting rescued alive and with very little to no injury. But if the weather was really, really bad, or if you were drunk or something like that, you fell over, lots of different things could happen. One of the things that we have found in our readings is that swimming is a huge game changer, so to speak, or a life-saving measure. Most people that fall into the water, if they're not injured, they can swim in some way, shape, fashion, or form, keep themselves afloat, and then they would be rescued back up onto the ships that they fell off of. In Richard Maddox's diary from October 19th, 1582, John Walken accidentally fell from the prow. but because he had learned to swim as a young man, and because the ship was proceeding at a very slow speed, he was immediately picked up and recovered the ship. And in another account, in September of 1582, today Nicholas Smith fell into the sea through a porthole, an unhappy boy and hated by gods and men. He kept his head above the waves long enough for fair weather and another Smith to swim, take hold of him, but he was already half dead. Attempts were also made to prevent people from going overboard in heavy seas or storms. In 1577, during Martin Frobisher's second voyage on August 30th, the master of the Gabriel and the boatswain were stricken both overboard, and hardly was the boatswain recovered, having hold on a rope overboard in the sea. And yet the bark was laced fore and aft with ropes abreast high within board. Lines like these were often one of the main methods of recovery as well as prevention. In William Bradford's of Plymouth Plantation on the Mayflower in 1620, John Howland, coming upon some occasion above the gratings, was with a seal of the ship thrown into the sea. But it pleased God that he caught hold of the topsail halyards, which hung overboard and ran out at length. Yet he held his hold, though he was sundry fathoms under water, till he was hauled up by the same rope to the brim of the water, and then with a boat hook and other means got onto the ship again, and his life saved. Ships today, just like they were 400 years ago, are dangerous places to work and live. But understanding your ship and understanding what needs to be done in an emergency situation can go a very long way in saving lives, which is why we take precautions here and we practice with man overboard drills. But 400 years ago, men knew what they needed to do also if the emergency arose. So I want to thank you for joining me today. I do hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. And please join us out here at Jamestown. We look forward to seeing you. Thank you.